A warm welcome to all. Myself M. Divya, Assistant Professor, Department of Biomedical Engineering in Erode Sengundar Engineering College, Autonomous, Perundurai, Tamil Nadu. So once again, I welcome you all for the session of Anatomy and Human Physiology. So this is going to be a introduction session. So in this session, we are going to discuss some basic concepts in anatomy and human physiology. So session 1 is going to cover the topics like introduction of anatomy and human physiology, human body systems, cell and its structure, then functions of cell, then finally we have a summary session. So first we are going to discuss about what is mean by anatomy and physiology. So anatomy is a branch of science that deal with normal structure, shape, size and location of various parts of the human body. Then physiology is a branch of science that deals with normal functioning of various organs in the human body. So in simple way we can say anatomy is equal to various parts of the body, then physiology is equal to functions of various parts of the human body. So in anatomy and human physiology, we should know how the human body is developed. Usually the human body is developed from the basic elements called cell. So group of cells are combined together and form tissues. Then group of tissues are combined together form organs. Then group of different organs are combined together form an organ system. Then finally different kind of organ systems are combined together and develop a human body. So this is the basic human body organization level. So every human body is developed from the basic element called cell. Then we should know about what are the different kind of organ systems present in our human body. So nearly 11 kind of organ systems are composed of human body. They are skeletal system, integumentary system, muscular system, respiratory system, circulatory system, digestive system, lymphatic system, reproductive system, excretory system, nervous system and endocrine system. So these are all the systems are combined to form our human body. So next is the cell. The cell is the basic building block of human life. So every human body is developed from the basic element called cell. So it is the smallest unit of living tissues. So cells of different tissues perform different kind of functions. So the study of cell is known as cytology. So this is the basic structure of cell. Usually the cell is divided into three portions, that is outer layer called cell membrane, then cytoplasm, then nucleus. So these are the major basic divisions of cell. So let's we have a glance on various parts of human cell. So the human cell is composed of mainly three portions, that is cell wall, nucleus and cytoplasm. So the nucleus is furtherly divided into two portions, that is nucleolus and chromatin. So in cytoplasm only major cell suborganelles are present. They are endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, lysosomes, centrosomes and microtubules. These are the various parts of human cells. So the first one is cell wall. The cell wall is also known as cell membrane or plasma membrane. So it is the external boundary of the living cell. So it covers the complete external portion of the cell is covered by the cell wall. So it is a bilayer structure and it is made up of lipid and proteins. So then it acts as a semi-permeable membrane. So it allows only the permeable number of components inside and out of the cell. So it play an important role in transport of various substances in and out of the cell with the help of semi-permeable membrane. So with the help of semi-permeable membrane, it allows only particular material inside and outside of the cell. So this is the structure of cell membrane. The cell membrane is made up, it is a bilayer membrane. So it consists of lipid and proteins, and some kind of carbohydrates also present in the cell membrane. So next one is nucleus. So it is the largest structure present at almost center of the cell. So nucleus is always present at the center of the cell. It is more or less spherical in shape. So it has a double membrane envelope that separates nucleus from the cytoplasm. Then the outer layer of nuclear envelope continues with the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So the outer layer also has many openings called nuclear pores, which control the movement of substances between nucleus and the cytoplasm. So finally, nucleus is the largest structure and it is present at most center of the cell. It is a double layer membrane. So nucleus contains two more components, that is nucleolus and chromatin. So the nucleus, it is a highly coiled filamentous structure present in the nucleus. It is not surrounded by a membrane. So nucleus is surrounded by double layer membrane, but nucleolus doesn't contain any kind of membrane, but it contains numerous granules. So its main function is ribosomal RNA synthesis. Next one is chromatin. So these are the fibrous thread floating in the nucleus. So it is a fibrous thread. They are composed of DNA and proteins. So DNA is, there is deoxyribonucleic acids and proteins. So the chromatin threads mainly carry major important thing, that is genetical information. At the end of the cell division, the chromatin condenses into chromosomes. For example, in human we have 23 pairs of 43 chromosomes. So in this, for male and female, 22 chromosomes are common. So the 23rd pair decides whether the person is male or female. Next, this is the structure of nucleus. So we know already the nucleus is a double layer membrane and it also contains nucleus pore, and inside the nucleus we have two components, that is nucleolus and chromatin. So nucleolus doesn't contain any kind of membrane, and chromatin play important role in the cell division process. This is the general structure of nucleus. Then cytoplasm. So cytoplasm is the major important part of human cell because it contains most of the cell suborganelles. So it is the region between the cell membrane and nucleus. So cytoplasm consists of gel-like substances. So it is a gel-like substances. So most of the cell organelles are floating inside the cytoplasm. So it contains cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, lysosomes and centrosomes. Let's have a glance on each one. So endoplasmic reticulum, it is the most extensive cell organelle present in the cytoplasm. So it is the network of membrane in the form of flattened sacs or tubules. So it is appearance like a sacs or like a tubule in appearance. So the endoplasmic reticulum extends from the nuclear envelope and it continues throughout the cytoplasm. So normally the cell contains two kind of endoplasmic reticulum, that is rough endoplasmic reticulum, then smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Let's have a discussion on what are the difference between rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So rough endoplasmic reticulum, it continues with the nuclear membrane. So then smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it extends from rough ER to form a network of membrane tubules. So then rough layer contain ribosome at its surface, so it synthesizes the proteins. Then smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it doesn't contain any kind of ribosomes and it does not produce and synthesize the protein. These are the major difference between the rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Next, this is the structure of endoplasmic reticulum. So usually the rough endoplasmic reticulum is continuous from the nuclear membrane. So after the rough endoplasmic, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is continuous. So rough endoplasmic reticulum only contain ribosome and they synthesize the protein. Next one is Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus is also known as Golgi complex or Golgi body. It is a cup-shaped structure and contain vesicles. It is also floating in cytoplasm. It is situated between the nucleus and apex of the cell. So the main function of Golgi apparatus is collection and dispatch of protein product that is received from the endoplasmic reticulum. So we already know endoplasmic reticulum is synthesis the proteins. Then the proteins are collected by Golgi apparatus and also dispatched by the Golgi apparatus. This is the structure of Golgi apparatus. So after the generation of proteins, the proteins are collected and at the cis phase of Golgi apparatus, then it transmitted to the trans phase and then finally it is distributed to the entire part of cell. Next major important part is mitochondria. So they are referred as the powerhouse of the cell. So most of the body functions are performed with the help of mitochondria. So its shape is rod-like structure. It is composed of two layers of membrane. So mainly it composed of two layers, that is outer layer and inner layer. So outer layer is smooth in shape, then inner layer is a folded sheet of tubules called cristae. So they generate energy in the form of ATP, that is nothing but adenosine triphosphate. So mitochondria is referred as the powerhouse of the cell. This is the structure of mitochondria. So mainly it has two layers, that is outer smooth layer and inner folded layer called cristae. So these are the mitochondria are the major power source of cell. Next one is lysosome. They are very small spherical or oval bodies surrounded by a single layer membrane. So it contains a variety of hydrolytic enzymes. So it breaks down the bacteria and cell debris inhaled by the cells. So its major function is the damaged intracellular organelles and old organelles are broken down and digested by the lysosomes in the presence of hydrolytic enzymes. So with the help of hydrolytic enzymes, the broken down organelles are furtherly digested by the lysosomes. So this is the structure of lysosomes. In central portion we have variety of hydrolytic enzymes. So with the help of these enzymes only, the breakdown parts of cells are inhaled and digested by the cell. Next one is centrosomes and microtubules. So both these parts are involved, that is it play a major role in cell division process. So centrosomes are small rod shaped body that is found near to the nucleus and it play an important role during the cell division process. Then microtubules, they are straight unbranched hollow cylinder tubes. Then assembly of microtubules only forms the centrosomes. These also play an important role during the cell division process. So then this is the structure of centrosomes. Then we should already know group of microtubules only combined together form centrosomes. Then both centrosomes and microtubules play important role in the cell division process. So these are the basic structure of cell. Let's we move on to the various functions of cell. So generally cell perform different kind of functions. They are, first one is ingestion and assimilation, growth and repair, metabolism, respiration, excretion, irritability and contractility, reproduction. So different cell perform different kind of functions in different ways. So first one is ingestion and assimilation. The cell ingests chemical substances like amino acids from intracellular or interstitial fluid. So these substances are used to build up the complicated substances like proteins. So first chemicals are ingested, then these ingested chemicals are used to generate the proteins. Next one is growth and repair. So the ingested and assimilated materials are used to synthesis new protoplasms. So this lead to increase in size and growth of the cell. So synthesis of protoplasm lead to increase in size of cells. Also one part of the cells are replaced by this process. So that is, old parts are replaced and new parts are generated with the help of growth and repair process. Next major important function is metabolism. Usually two different kind of metabolism process occur inside the cell. That is, first one is anabolism and second one is catabolism. So anabolism, in which the ingested and assimilated food materials is used for growth and repair process. Then in catabolism, in which the food materials are broken down to release energy for various functions of cell. So in catabolism, food materials are broken down and converted into energy, and they perform different kind of functions with the help of these energies. Then next one is respiration. So it involves transport of oxygen from lungs through blood to the tissues and removal of waste products like carbon dioxide. So usually respiration means inhalation of oxygen and exhalation of carbon dioxide. So this will happen only with the help of cell. So this is essential for the survival and functions of cells. Next one is excretion process. So cell also eliminates some waste products. These waste products are carried by blood for elimination through lungs and kidney. So with the help of lungs and kidney, we have eliminate some kind of waste products. Next one is irritability and contractility. The cell is active by means of these two functions. So with the help of these two functions, cell is always active. So the cell responds to any stimulus like irritation, that is nothing but stimulus or nothing but irritations like physical, chemical, thermal, electrical and mechanical, to contract the cell. So with the help of irritations, first irritation is created, then the contractility is automatically produced. So with the help of these two different kind of functions, we are performing different kind of functions in our body. For example, nervous cells. Then reproduction function. After growing to an optimum size, the cell is automatically divided into daughter cells. So this will happen with the help of two different kind of process, that is mitosis process and meiosis process. So at the end of mitosis cell division, two daughter cells are produced, and at the end of meiosis cell division, four different kind of daughter cells are produced. So these are the functions of human cells. So today in this session we are going to discuss about the topics like what is anatomy and physiology, then how human body is developed, then what are the different kind of systems are present in our human body, then what is mean by cell and what are the different cell suborganelle present inside the cell, then finally we have discussed about what are the different functions of cell Thank you.